Before we took the break, we were talking about your psychiatric treatment, and you said you were on 19 medications.
At the time, yes.
Is that the most you ever got put on at one time?
For psychotropic meds, oh yes. Now I'm down to 3.
Are you taking any other medications?
Health. I'm a diabetic. I have severe arthritis in my hands, my knees. So I take stuff for that. I have asthma.
What do you take for the arthritis?
Celebrex, but I'm starting to build up a tolerance to that, so I'll probably have to switch.
Now, do you think your arthritis is completely independent of the injury you suffered, or has a relationship to it?
I think there was a relationship to it, because before my accident, I was very active. From being from Kentucky, we play basketball. You're basically born with a basketball in your hand.
How tall are you, Mike?
6'4".
So you played. You didn't play in high school, but you did play quite a bit.
I played, yes. Only played in grade school, and that was it.
Are you from E-Town?
No, I'm from Louisville, which is 30 miles north.
Your high school had one of those basketball teams where half the people played college basketball?
No, actually only 2 people went from my high school. I was a little high school.
Right.
And both of them went to, there's actually I think it's called, could you hold on? It's called St. Catherine's of something. It's close to Bardstown.
So your first job, did you get fired at the time that you had the confrontation with the resident?
With that, I should have, and let's see how to explain this. I probably should have just quit, and then it would have stopped. But I believed in my innocence, and I should have kept going and went other directions with it. But come to find out, I was one of many people in this gentleman's history. I recommended the place to a friend of mine. She got a job there, and she ended up getting into a fight with them also. But she quit before they could go any further.
Is that the only incident you've had of violence since you got hurt?
When I first got hurt, and I first got back home after I'd left E-Town, back to Louisville, because that's where I did all my rehab, I basically stayed in my room upstairs for my parents. After I beat up every piece of furniture I had because I couldn't handle the urges, or everything was making me upset. And I think last time we were talking about my dog a little bit. Well, he was the only one that would comfort me. My parents wouldn't deal with me. They just wanted to wait and see what happened afterwards. But a little bit would finally get me calmed down. And it took about, that's when they put me on a large dose of Tegretol. And it worked.
And that was primarily for your seizures?
I was primarily for seizures, and also Tegretol as a mood stabilizer.
Did they ever postulate or come to a conclusion that your seizures were contributing to your temper outbursts and your behavior issues?
They never took an angle like that. Right now I'm on Lamictal, which is like Tegretol, but the bad effects are very small. I'm not considered seizure prone anymore, but they're keeping me on the Lamictal for mood stabilizer and make sure I don't have any more seizures.
Right, we talked about the first job you had, and you've had a couple of other jobs since then?
I've had a few.
Talk to me about the next job.
The next job was actually, I went back to an old place I used to work for because after I got in trouble up here, I moved back down to Louisville, Kentucky with my first wife for a while. And I used to work for Sears when I was in high school, and I went back to Sears. and I was selling vacuum cleaners and stuff.
So that was a lot of human contact issues.
A lot of human contact issues.
Were you fine until somebody got angry at you?
I wasn't getting too many. Actually, I sold shoes the first time I worked at Sears, and people got more angry at me at that job when I was selling shoes than they were when I was selling vacuum cleaners and microwaves. But
what were the problems you had at Sears?
Sears, well, the biggest problem I had was management.
Such as?
Well, for some reason, I don't know how it is now because I haven't worked since 2007 or 2006. But up until about 92, everybody had their set way that you had to do things. And I have a hard time with that because I can't follow what they want to do. I have to find out on my own how to do it and what I can do. And management at Sears didn't like that because I wasn't following their scripted program.
How long did you work for them?
I worked there for 4 months till I got a job with the government.
Okay, and this is again in Louisville?
Actually, this one was in Jeffersonville, right across the river.
In Indiana.
Mm-hmm.